What's good, y'all? It's your boy Chris here, your one and only Data Bunny, and I want to show you all what's in my tech bookshelf stash. So, what's in your tech bookshelf stash? What do you have on your bookshelf? Make it tech related, and let's get right into it. So, I'm going to start with some miscellaneous books here that I have. This was a data voice and video cabling book that I've ended up getting for my data cabling class. This was, I want to say, back in, what was it, 2019, I believe, when I took the class. And I also had like a cyber law class as well. This book was super boring. It was crazy as the class pretty much had you reading from cover to cover, which was just crazy. I'm glad I passed that class and I don't have to take that anymore. Credit transfers really well to WGU if I want to take it. But this is, now we're going to actually start getting into like the tech books. So this is like some books that I had collected when I was going to community college. This, on the other end, is a 101 CCNA book. So this is a 101 Labs Cisco CCNA. This book is real good because it actually goes to like all different labs you can pretty much do. And in the books, in the lab, it actually shows you the full configurations of the lab. But on top of that, like, okay, this is what you need to do, the tasks, and then it shows you like the full and the finished script. So this is a really good book if, let's say, you forgot certain configurations and you want to refresh on that. This book is the way to go. This is like the CCNA level stuff. So I'm not sure if they have a CCNP or not, but yeah. I also used to have a CCNA pocket guide, which was a really great book too as well. I gave that to someone. I forgot who I gave it to, but that book was really good. Network Plus. This was the exam cram book that I've purchased back, and I want to say, I think like 2020, 2021. This was good due to the fact that you can see, I highlighted everything. I used this book and went through all of the content in it. Like I literally like read it from cover to cover. And then that's when I started going with the Jason Dion courses. And that's how I ended up getting my Network Plus. Basically, Jason Dion content was just amazing. I did it. I used his content for the Network Plus and the A Plus, and I actually used to have an A Plus exam cram book. It was about like this thick because of the two exams. It was the A Plus 1001 and 1002 exam at the time. That I also used, and then I used Mike Myers' A Plus course for that. And yeah, that's how I ended up passing the A Plus. And this book and Jason Dion courses, I ended up passing the Network Plus. Then we go more into, we're gonna start getting into like the cybersecurity stuff. But this was a CYSA Plus book that I had bought, and then exam expired like I don't know how soon after I bought this book, but it's like one of the cert guide type of what's the word? It looks almost like the Cisco Press cert guide books, but this was a good book until the exam expired, and then I ended up getting this one, the 003. The problem with this book is the print kind of screwed up. So there are like pages that are like overlapped, or like, what's the word I could say? Pages are not in the right order. I'll just say that. And I'm going through all the Cyrex. These are like Cyrex. I do have more Cyrex books now here, but these are my bigger books up here. This is the Linux Plus. Again, I believe this exam went to like the 005 now. This was 004. But yeah, a very, very, very beefy book. It's still good content, even though the exam expired. You can still go through this stuff really good. However, there is even a better book than this, which I'll show you all in a bit. The Network Plus, didn't really go over this one that much. I can't remember. I think, yeah, I used Jason Dion for the Security Plus. So anything like, all the Security Plus content, I really use Jason Dion I don't even think I went through a book for the Security Plus. It was just all Jason Dion. To me personally, that was a very simple exam. It was very smooth and more logical than it was like technical. So that was the Security Plus. Then we got like some books I had bought going down my cybersecurity phase. I'm more network heavy now, but this was during my cybersecurity phase. These were all like the practical malware analysis. This book is actually very interesting. It tells you how to pretty much like deconstruct malware and look through them, investigate them, look at their code, run them in sandboxes, a whole bunch of stuff. And it's actually a really, really good book. This is a no starch brand, no starch, penetration testing. Didn't really read through this book that much. I was more like on a blue team type of person. I also have like Metasploit. This book was actually pretty cool. I didn't read all of it because there's better like video courses and whatnot there. But with me, what I like about books is just being able to just have them physically, and if anything was to happen, you can read through those books and you have it right there. It's just great to have as a library anyway. Fill your library up as much as you can. Now I'm getting into some really good books. The Cybersecurity Blue Team Toolkit. This book is actually really good because it gives you like pretty much like a guide on like all the different blue team tools you can use. Let me go here. If I go to like table of contents, you get ping, IP config, NS lookup, tracer, netstat, putty, and then they go into all these path ping, port scanning, network mapping, ZenMap, operating systems, open VAS, managing vulnerabilities, and then it tells you what blue team tools you can use, like Wireshark, things related to like AAA, Windows PowerShell, Syslog, SolarWinds Kiwi, Metasploitable 2, Burp Suite. It goes through all the different blue team tools. So if you're a blue teamer, I highly recommend this book. This book is pretty cool. It's the Tribe of Hackers Blue Team, and it just goes through like all the different backgrounds of different blue team hackers, and they just tell their story, what they use, what their thinking process is when doing different projects, things like that. Then we got like operator handbook. There's multiple operator handbooks. This one pretty much is it's red team, open source intelligence, and blue team. So it's sort of the red team and the blue team. And this pretty much covers like it's pretty much similar to another book I have up there, which I'll show you in a minute, but it gives you all the different, it's like a field guide of all the different commands and whatnot related to if you're a red teamer or if you're a blue teamer. Then we have this book, the Blue Team Handbook, Incident Response Edition. It's a guide on incident response and how to go about, doing incident response. And then this is another field manual. This is specifically blue team. Very similar to operator handbook, but this is all the blue team stuff. Really thin book. This book is really good. This is another blue team handbook. SOC, SIEM, and threat hunting use cases. Really good for, if you want to set up a SOC and actual SIEM and all of that, and pretty much, how to get all that stuff set up, what tools you need, things like that. Now we're away from all the cybersecurity books. There's I start to go here in the networking, and then there's just like all different portions, like networking portions and stuff, and then even more stuff that I want to talk about. So, network programmability and automation fundamentals. This is a huge book, but I will tell you that it has a lot of stuff in it, from Python to a whole bunch of different ways on doing automation and how to automate your network. If you're looking for something that's like hey, you just want a guide and something that's simple, something that's quick and simple, this won't be the book for you. This will be more of a book for, if you really want to get a deep dive into everything regarding automating your network, all the different tools, JSON, XML, Yang, right? SSH, advanced HTTP, and then you have, let's see here, HTTP and REST, Python applications. It really starts you off with Python too. It gives you about the Linux storage, security and networks, Python fundamentals. It pretty much touches everything regarding network automation. It's like a all-you-can-eat buffet with that book. Let me see if I can kind of organize some of this stuff. It's a lot. All right, so that's that. And then you have automating and orchestrating networks with net devops. I didn't really read too much of this book, but I believe it's like net devops is some type of tool, something that they use in here. I'm not sure, but it's a quick guide. It's about code and how to use like Git. Very similar to, it's content that is touched in here too as well. And then you also have like network automation made easy. This would be more for like if you're looking for something to get started with automation. You want to just quickly just get started with it, not go super in depth with every little thing. But this talks about all types of stuff automation wise, JSON, YAML, XML. You still get the whole stuff, Yang, all of that. Boom. So I'm missing. So here is the CCNP. This is what I'm actually currently studying for now, advanced routing. I'm actually doing the CCNP core now. The book is on the other side of the room that I'm actually reading through, so you don't see it here. This is the library version of it. So it's Cisco Press official cert guide library. Here it is. It includes the Encore and the routing, advanced routing NRC content. So this is in NRC. This is what I'll be going for next. And then I'm going to start doing more automation. So I'm going to get my CCNP in advanced routing. Then I'm also going to get the DevNet associate. That will probably be changed to CCNA automation or something like that. I have to get actually what I need is the professional. So that would be like the CCNA, the CCNP automation. But I'm trying to figure out how would that be because of the recent changes that are about to happen to the DevNet being changed to CCNA automation, CCNP automation, and CCIE automation. How would that fit into those who have the CCNP enterprise and then take something in the automation and then get the CCNP enterprise in automation? Is that still the same thing? So that's what I'm trying to do. But I want to get my advanced routing first and then get the automation piece. So I'm have like CCNP and advanced routing and then the CCNP and automation as well. So that's what I got cooking up. And then here are really just books that were like given to me. This book was actually interesting. This Network Plus book up here. So this book was I actually found this book when I was at my first IT position at the job there. And there was this room, this AV room that where the MDF was. And I was cleaning it up. I think it was like my last year there. I was cleaning everything up. And I found this book in one of the cabinets that I was going through. And it seems that there was an older tech that was there that used to work there at that private school. And he was going through this book. And it looks like he was trying to get his Network Plus too as well during that time. I was also getting my Network Plus at that time too as well. So it was pretty interesting how I came about finding that book that he was reading years later. So, and this was a long time ago. I'm not sure, man. When was this book? Let me see if I can grab this book real quick. What year was this? Let's see if it even says it. I don't even know. But this looks old. This looks really old. Let's see. It's in Chicago at the Sun. Okay, so 2006. So there you go. So this was a Network Plus book from 2006. That's crazy. And I found it, what, freaking 19 years later? No, not 19 years later, 14, 15 years later, something like that. That's crazy. So yeah, and then so these were books that were given to me. There was someone on LinkedIn that asked, you know, if I wanted to have some of these books he had that was laying around. These are the older Cisco Press, ICND1, ICND2, the CCNA, CCNP route switch books. They still come in handy though, because I mean, there's still content that, you know, it may not be like exam, what's the word, fitting, right? But these books are still, they still have really good content, especially the CCNP routing and switching T-shoot. That book is actually really good. It's all troubleshooting related. So I was going through that. I'm like, oh man, this has a lot of good stuff in here. Implementing Cisco IP route. This book was given to me by a CCIE that I was working with at another position. I was a network technician at the time, and I was studying for my CCNA. He knew I was. So he like, you know what, I'm gonna give you this book. And then I came in the next day, he gave me this book here. You know, I was going through this book and like, oh, it's all route focused. I was like, man, this is really good. And it may tie into all the stuff I'm gonna read in there with advanced routing. So like I was actually pretty glad to go look through that book, and glad he was able to just give me that book. He was going through that too. So yeah, ICND1 and ICND2, these were the older exams, and I want to say when I started IT, right when I started, Cisco was starting to change these out with these official cert guides, the CCNA 200-301s. Before, it was the ICND1, and ICND1 was like, it was the CCNP and part of the CCNA, but you had to get this first, and then you had to get ICND2, which will give you the CCNA. All right, guys, sorry about that. My storage got full. So as I was saying, when it moved to these exams, you have to take the 200-301 volume 1, and then you had to go to the volume 2. So there were 2 volumes instead of the, I want to say like two different exams, because you had the ICND1 was one exam, and the ICND2 was one exam. So you had to take 2 exams to get the CCNA, but then they condensed it to 1 exam to get the CCNA, and it just made volume 1 and volume 2. So you have to read both of these books to get it. However, with the CCNP, you have to take 2 exams to do that, a core exam and then an elective. But these are the old ones, and then these are like these were the old ones before we had got moved on to the new ones. So these changed, this changed, this changed. The definite associate, the 200-901, is actually still the same, but I believe they're very close to changing this one too. So the new ones are, you'll see 2nd edition. So you see 2nd edition. These are what we're on now. So, but yeah, I went through this book to get my CCNA. So I went through these to get my CCNA. So I had these books for the longest, I want to say 5 years ago. So my entire time when I was getting into IT, those CCNA books right there were one of the very first IT books I actually bought. And then it was the A+ of the exam crown. Then we go with some more miscellaneous stuff here. These are more of O'Reilly's. The Terraform book is actually really good. I didn't look through the Kubernetes administrator, but the Terraform is actually really nice. You got like Learning the Bash Shell. I don't like this book, the Learning the Bash Shell. I actually don't like the Program PHP one either. JavaScript, you can see the creases in that one. When I was doing web development, I was going through that book like crazy. And then so you got, Mastering Bitcoin, Programming Bitcoin, Mastering the Lightning Network. There's some extra stuff I bought. Then we go into some more no-starch books. These, it's like the PowerShell for sysadmins. That's a really good book. The Linux command line, I would say this book is actually even better than the content in this book. This is more streamlined for the exam. So if you're trying to get that Linux Plus, However, I kind of like the video courses for the Linux Plus, in my personal opinion. That's a beefy book. And I'm saying that, and I'm going through the CCNA. But then you have like the Linux Pocket Guide. That's a really, really good book to have. Nice and small. And, you know, you can pretty much look through it all and see what command you need and what is it used for, all that stuff. Network Programmability and Automation. This book pretty much includes a lot of what's in here. So if I have, you know, I'm using this book, and I'd rather use this book than that one. But that's a good book too. And then you have some more cybersecurity, the ISC books here, Cyrix. You got the CCSP, which is the cloud security, the SSCP, which is all like system security. And then these were like practice exam books that I bought as well. Then you got some Mastering System Center Configuration Manager, Mastering Windows Server 2016. At the time, I was working on like the Windows Server at at one of my, you know, one of the first jobs I had in IT, and I was looking on getting SCCM configured in that organization. Then you have like Cisco Certified Network Associate. This is another old Cyrix Cisco CCNA. You get the CCNA Security. All right, and now you have, and then at the end, I got like this Java Beginner's Guide by Oracle. So this is actually Oracle's Press, as you can see right there. So yeah, this is my bookshelf. I mean, this is my what I got in my tech bookshelf stash. So what do you guys have? Like, what do you guys have in your tech bookshelf? Is yours network heavy? Mine's more network heavy and a little cyber security here and there. What do you guys have in there? So thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.